She said, "Thank you, babe." 20 minutes later, she parked near the garage. I saw who got in. And I saw what happened next. She had no idea the dashcam was recording. I bought her the car on a Tuesday. Midnight blue, leather interior, touchscreen everything. She'd been hinting for months about upgrading from her 10-year-old Civic, and I wanted to surprise her. She called it perfect. Said I was the best husband. Said she didn't deserve me. 2 days later, I watched her fuck the mechanic in the back seat. I didn't mean to catch it. The dashcam uploaded footage to my cloud automatically. I set it up that way for insurance. Theft, break-ins, whatever. I never expected it to document my wife moaning under another man's hands, whispering his name like it was a prayer. Mick, oh God, Mick. I didn't touch my phone. Just watched, frame by frame. Parked just outside the garage where Mick worked, windows fogged, her head tilting back the same way it used to with me. That car still had the plastic on the seats. The worst part? She wore the necklace I gave her for our anniversary. Said it made her feel close to me. I didn't get angry. Not right away. Just quiet. Still. Like a curtain had dropped and I could finally see the truth behind it. Her kisses the past few weeks had been softer, delayed. Her texts shorter. She used to send me dumb memes at lunch. Lately, just busy. I started watching the footage every night. Not just that day, but others. Turns out it wasn't a one-time thing. She'd park in the same alley behind the garage on Wednesdays and Fridays. Always late afternoon. Always in that same tight yoga set she never wore around me. The car was a gift. A $42,000 thank you for her loyalty. For sticking with me through layoffs, relocations, and my mother's cancer. And she let Mick crawl into the back seat like it was some cheap motel. Her name is Ashley. 32. Works in HR for a private tech firm in Denver. We met at a networking event 5 years ago. I liked her laugh. I liked that she didn't pretend to care about things she didn't. She had a way of making a room feel warmer just by being in it. We moved in together after 6 months. Married by year 2. No kids yet, just a dog named Bruno and a lot of shared dreams. Road trips, mountain homes, early retirement. Or at least, that was the story I believed. Mick's a mechanic at Goodwin Auto off Colfax. I'd gone there once for an oil change before deciding I could do better. I remember shaking his hand. Firm grip, tattoos down to the knuckles. He looked like the kind of guy who asked women to call him daddy. I doubt Ashley told him she was married. At least, not at first. Guys like Mick don't need context. Just opportunity. But Ashley knew. She saw the insurance paperwork. She knew it was my name on the loan, the title, everything. I paid for that car in full. And she still turned it into a back alley fuck den. That week, she kissed me like nothing had changed. Made pasta Thursday night. Laughed at my stupid joke about the dog. Told me she loved me as she curled into my chest. I lay there, eyes open, staring at the ceiling. I already knew what came next. It wouldn't be a confrontation. Not yet. Not a fight, not screaming, not even tears. I was done with drama. I wanted proof. I wanted precision. So I started building the archive. Every dashcam upload. Every timestamp. Every GPS ping. I created folders by date, tagged by location. I screen recorded footage and backed it up to 3 separate drives. I logged patterns. Duration. Clothing. Times she left the house. Times she returned. She thought she was clever. Thought I was stupid. Or worse, too in love to notice. But the truth was, I noticed everything. And I had just begun. I didn't need to confront her. Not yet. I needed her to keep thinking everything was fine. The next Friday, she kissed me on the cheek and said she had a late meeting. Wore the same yoga set, dark blue with a mesh cut across the thighs. She only wore it when she planned on not sweating. She didn't take her gym bag. Didn't grab a water bottle. She took the car. I sat at the kitchen table, opened the cloud app, and watched in real time as the GPS dot rolled east, then stopped behind Goodwin Auto. The feed loaded slowly. Just enough to see her adjusting the rear view, checking her hair. Mick emerged from the back door in a grease-stained tee, wiping his hands on a red rag. He didn't hesitate. Just opened the rear door and slid in like he'd done it 100 times before. I muted the volume this time. I already knew the soundtrack. She came home 2 hours later. Hair tied up now. Meeting ran long, she said. You still hungry? I told her I ordered pizza. She smiled, kissed me like nothing had happened, and grabbed a slice. She talked about some conflict at work, some internal drama between 2 leads in her department. Said she was glad we didn't bring our jobs home with us. I watched her eat, imagining his sweat still drying on her skin. She licked sauce off her fingers and laughed at some dumb TikTok I showed her. It was all theater. Rehearsed, efficient. That night, she showered. She always did after him. I didn't follow. I opened a spreadsheet and logged her return time, the position of the sun in the video, the angle of Mick's approach. I started building timelines. What excuse she used. What day of the week. How long they stayed in the car. What she wore. What she said when she got home. By Sunday, I had enough data to see the patterns. It wasn't just random. It was ritual. Sometimes she brought coffee. Sometimes she fixed her hair in the visor mirror. One time she even sprayed perfume, the same one I bought her on our anniversary trip to Austin. On paper, everything looked normal. Her phone showed our texts, her calendar showed HR meetings, and her Instagram was still full of sunsets and dog pics. But the car, my car, was the key. The car remembered. Tire pressure logs. Door sensor triggers. Rearview mirror adjustments. She never even thought to check the dashcam. She didn't see the lens under the rear view. Didn't know it had audio. Didn't know it had a backup battery. She didn't know I saw her reach for him first. That she begged. That she said things I never heard in our own bed. She didn't know the footage was already backed up across 3 accounts. That I had her voice, her words, her betrayal in 4K. She didn't know that I had changed. Before this, I might have cried. Pleaded. Asked her why. Now. I just watched. Documented. Filed her moans under folders named by date. Synced them to cloud storage. Made copies. Because this wasn't about heartbreak anymore. This was about precision. I started laying groundwork. Checked the state's no-fault divorce laws. Contacted an attorney under a burner email. Found out who her HR director was. Cross-referenced LinkedIn. Noted who followed her, who liked her posts. Traced social networks. Quietly. I remembered every smile she gave him. Every lie she fed me. Every fake laugh at dinner. And I knew one thing for sure. This woman wasn't my wife anymore. She was an asset. A variable. And I was going to control the equation. Ashley started forgetting little things. Not big ones. Not enough to get caught. But just enough that, if you were watching closely, it told a different story. One Thursday night, she came home smiling, kissed me like always, but left her phone in the bathroom. Screen up. Notifications on. Normally, she kept it face down, muted, password protected. But that night, maybe she was tired, or maybe just too sure of herself, it lit up with a text from M. Not Mick. Just M. One letter. A coward's initial. Can still taste you. My heart didn't race. It slowed. I turned the phone over, gently, like closing a coffin lid. At dinner, I asked how her team meeting went. She said they were revising onboarding protocols. That Jenny kept cutting her off. That she might just work remote Fridays for a bit. I nodded. Took another bite. Let her talk. That night, while she showered, I turned her phone back over. Locked, of course. But I didn't need the phone. I had timestamps. I had footage. I had GPS. I knew exactly when she sent him those texts. I cross-referenced the message times with dashcam audio. She texted him from the driver's seat. Right after he zipped up. Still breathing heavy. Still laughing about something I'll never know. The next day, I did something new. I left work early, came home before she did, and checked her gym bag. Still zipped from the last time she worked out. Inside, deodorant, towel, empty water bottle. No sweat. No laundry. No signs of use. I pulled up her car's door sensor data. She never even opened the trunk. Just the driver's side and the rear. Always the rear. I checked the glove compartment. Her emergency makeup kit was missing. She'd moved it to the center console. Lipstick shade she never wore for me. That sharp red, war paint red. I used to love that color on her. Now it just looked like blood. I started collecting receipts. Bank statements. Little inconsistencies. Lunches charged on days she said she skipped. Gas station visits not near her work. A parking ticket near Colfax, dismissed, but time-stamped perfectly between 2 late meetings. She didn't even hide it well. She just assumed I wasn't watching. That Saturday, we went out for brunch with her friends. I watched her work the table, laughing, glowing, touching my arm like everything was still fine. Like she still loved me. I studied their faces. Noticed how her friend Danielle kept stealing glances when Ashley spoke. How Jordan, the quiet one, wouldn't meet my eyes when I paid the check. They knew. Maybe not the details. But they knew she wasn't loyal. That something was rotting beneath the surface. And none of them said a word. Afterward, Ashley said she wanted to stop by a boutique near the park. Just a quick look, she smiled. I said sure. I knew the boutique. Knew the woman who owned it. A patient from years back. While Ashley tried on overpriced coats, I asked the owner if she'd seen my wife in lately. She blinked. Then smiled carefully. She usually comes alone. Alone, I repeated. I didn't ask for more. I'd put her in a position already. But it told me everything. Ashley had carved out a separate life, one where I was a distant background figure. A wallet, a roommate, a prop. She wasn't even careful anymore. She was confident. Comfortable. Too deep in to imagine a collapse. That's when I knew it was time to pull back. Not from her. From me. I started erasing myself. Slowly. I turned off location sharing. Backed up our shared cloud and created a private drive. Transferred funds to a solo account she didn't know existed. Changed passwords. Set up a separate P.O. box. Legal prep. All while smiling. All while playing the husband she thought I still was. Because while she thought she was operating in shadows, I was preparing to turn on the floodlights. A week later, Ashley asked if I'd noticed anything different about her. I looked up from my coffee. New shampoo. She smiled. Knew you'd catch it. It wasn't the shampoo. It was the guilt. She smiled faster now. Talked more. Laughed harder. Like she was trying to keep the mask from slipping. That morning, I already knew she'd spent part of her lunch break parked near the storage units off Blake Street, another spot Mick liked to use. I had footage of her fixing her hair in the visor mirror before unlocking her door for him. It lasted 11 minutes. She didn't even bother to turn off the engine. She came home smelling like mint gum and cheap cologne. I asked if she wanted to watch something. She said she was too tired. Said she might turn in early. Kissed my cheek and said, "You're such a good man." And maybe I was. A good man, paying for her car, her dinners, her silence. A good man, playing dumb so she could keep rewriting history in her head. The dashcam picked up everything now. I upgraded it. Internal mic, motion alerts, infrared backup, real-time cloud push. I'd memorized every beep it made. I tracked the exact second she reached for him. She always did first. I noticed something else too. She stopped looking at me during sex. The few times she offered, it felt like charity. Routine. Her breath hitched differently. Her hands didn't roam. And when she came, if she did, it was silent, clinical, over. Afterward, she rolled away too fast. Got up too quickly. Always said she was just dehydrated. I started keeping my shirts inside the guest room. She didn't ask why. She was too busy building her fiction. At work, I pretended nothing had changed. Nobody knew. Nobody could. Because the man I was becoming, cold, surgical, exact, wasn't someone I could explain. I set up a second phone. Unregistered. Used only for one thing, logging her lies. Every time she said, running to Target, and parked near Colfax instead, I recorded it. Every girl's night that ended with Mick's hand gripping her thigh in the rear camera, I tagged the footage and uploaded it to a private drive labeled Ashley, Evidence. Each folder had subfolders. Date. Time. Excuse used. Duration. Behavior after. By now, I knew her patterns better than she did. She got lazy. Comfortable in the routine of betrayal. That's what happens when someone believes they'll never be caught. She started leaving receipts in her jacket, gas stations she didn't need, restaurants we'd never go to. One even had a heart scribbled next to the total. I showed it to her. She laughed. Oh, must have been the barista flirting. You know how they are. I nodded. Yeah. Bold. She kissed my cheek. Don't worry, babe. You're the only one I'm bringing home. That night, I backed up every file twice. Sent one copy to a lawyer under a pseudonym. Just a hypothetical inquiry. Attached summaries, timestamps, financial evidence. Waited for the response. It came the next morning. If even half of what you sent is accurate, you have more than grounds. Let's talk. I didn't reply. Not yet. I had one more thing to do. Ashley had been texting Mick more carelessly. Quick replies between brushing her teeth. Mute pings while we watched Netflix. She'd turn the screen away, then say, "It's just group chat stuff." She had no idea I'd already mirrored her device. I watched her open WhatsApp. Watched her type. I hate how good it feels after. Hate how much I want it. It's wrong. But I don't want to stop. Mick replied with a peach emoji. A goddamn emoji. I screen recorded the thread. Sent it to my private email. Labeled it, Final Straw. Then I looked at her across the room. She was scrolling, probably Instagram. Probably pretending to laugh at something while the man she loved in secret was still stuck to her skin. She glanced up and smiled. I smiled back. Because soon, that smile would be the last thing she controlled. The night I got full access to her synced messages, I didn't sleep. It started with a forgotten iPad. She left it in the kitchen after FaceTiming her sister. Went to bed, said she was exhausted. I waited 15 minutes, then tapped the screen. No passcode. She never thought to secure it. Everything synced. iMessages. WhatsApp. Even her Notes app, where she'd scribbled dumb shopping lists and one-liners she probably thought were poetic. And there it was. The full thread. Ashley to Mick. Weeks of it. Months. Right there, next to photos of our dog, next to Amazon receipts and grocery reminders. You make me forget who I am. Wish we didn't have to sneak. He doesn't touch me like you do. That last one sat in my chest like acid. Not because it hurt, not anymore, but because it confirmed everything. This wasn't just lust. This was replacement. I clicked the Attachments tab. The photos she'd sent. Bathroom mirror shots. Bra-only selfies. One of her lips wrapped around 2 fingers, captioned, "You missed this." The timestamp on that one was 15 minutes after she told me she had a headache. She was in our guest bathroom. I didn't save the images. Didn't need to. I screen recorded the entire message thread. Scroll by scroll. No edits. No gaps. From first flirt to full-blown confession. I also found messages to a friend, one of the brunch girls. He's so sweet. I feel bad sometimes. But it's like I'm living two lives and only one of them makes me feel real. So they knew. Or at least, weren't surprised. The silence made sense now. Every averted gaze, every fake laugh. Ashley wasn't just cheating. She was recruiting sympathy. Prepping her audience. Rewriting the story so that when the bomb dropped, I'd be the collateral damage, not the victim. I scrolled back up to Mick's name. I watched her type to him in real time. "You'd never hurt me, right?" No response yet. Just the blinking ellipses. I turned off the iPad and slipped it back where she left it. In the morning, she was humming. Making coffee. Wearing one of my t-shirts like she hadn't just used our guest bathroom to sext a man with oil under his nails. She kissed my neck. "You okay? You seem quiet." I smiled. "Just tired." We ate in silence. I watched her stir her coffee 3 times counterclockwise. She always did that when she was nervous. That night, I opened the camera footage from last Wednesday. She told me she was grabbing drinks with Danielle. Dashcam said otherwise. Car parked behind Goodwin Auto, 6:22 p.m. Engine off, interior lights dimmed. At 6:27 p.m., Mick entered. At 6:29, her legs lifted onto the center console. No seatbelt. No shame. I watched the whole thing again. Muted. Just angles. Movements. The jerks of the car frame. The fogged windows. Her hand flattening against the glass. Afterward, she leaned back, laughing. Mick lit a cigarette outside while she adjusted her bra. She looked proud. That's when I made the decision. No confrontation. No begging. Just facts. Delivered clean. I printed stills from the dashcam. One from the outside, her leg braced against the window. One from inside, Mick's hand between her thighs. I blurred nothing. I printed the text threads too. Highlighted the quote about how I don't touch her like he does. I compiled the screenshots, the GPS logs, the folder structure from the drive, and the match timestamps. Then I wrote one sentence on the cover page. Consider this my response. I sealed it in an envelope. No return address. Just her name on the front. The next step. Wait for the right moment. Because public silence cuts deeper than private rage. I wanted her to see what it feels like when the story turns and there's no one left to lie to. Ashley didn't notice the envelope right away. I left it on the front seat of the car, the same car she used to fuck him in, on a Tuesday morning before work. No note. No warning. Just a manila folder sitting there, waiting, like a lit fuse. She left for work early. Kissed me twice. Said she might be late. End of quarter chaos, she mumbled. I watched her back out of the driveway with one hand on the wheel, the other already reaching for her phone. At 9:03 a.m., I got the first sign. She called. I let it ring. Then she texted. What is this? Where did you get this? No emojis. No nicknames. Just panic, plain and raw. I didn't respond. 10 minutes later. Can we please talk? Please. Still, nothing from me. By noon, I saw the GPS ping from her office parking lot. The car hadn't moved. She wasn't at lunch. She wasn't at Mick's. She was frozen. I imagined her sitting in her car, folder open on her lap. Watching her own betrayal in print. My quiet, precise reply to months of lies. At 12:38 p.m., I got the longest message yet. I never meant for any of this. It started at a weird time. I didn't think it would go this far. I love you. I messed up. Please don't do anything rash. We can fix this. I'll stop. I'll do whatever you want. Still, I said nothing. Because that's the thing no one tells you, silence can't be argued with. You can't twist silence. You can't gaslight it. You can only sit in it. That night, she came home like someone walking into a war zone blindfolded. She opened the door like it might explode. Hey, her voice was small. Measured. I looked up from my laptop. Hey. She hovered by the door. Bag still on her shoulder. I saw the folder, she said. I waited. She took a step forward. Can we talk? I nodded once, slowly. Talk. She sat across from me on the couch. Not beside me. Across. Like an interview. I messed up. I know. I don't even know where to start. You started already, I said. In parking lots. In the back seat. She blinked. Swallowed. I never stopped loving you. That line made me laugh. Quietly. Not because it was funny, but because it was pathetic. She rushed in. I was lonely. You were distant. Work was hard. I didn't plan any of it. But you repeated it. She went quiet. It wasn't just one time, I continued. It was organized. Scheduled. You made time for him. I know. Her voice broke. I know. And I'm sorry. You're not sorry. You're scared. That stopped her. I didn't hit you. I didn't scream. I didn't expose you to your friends or family. I gave you silence. And you still fell apart. Tears welled up. I didn't care. I can change, she started. I cut her off. You already did. She stared at the floor like it had the answers. I stood. Walked to the kitchen. Poured a glass of water. Let her sit in the silence. Let it crawl under her skin like it had under mine for months. When I came back, I said one sentence. You'll be served papers by Friday. She looked up. Mouth open. No words. I'm not asking, I added. I'm informing. I don't want a divorce. I shrugged. You already filed for one. With your body. This is just paperwork. She cried. Big, noisy sobs like she was the one being betrayed. I didn't touch her. I didn't move. She asked if I could forgive her. I said no. Not because I couldn't. Because I didn't want to. Friday came with blue skies and a hard chill in the air. Ashley was still sleeping when the doorbell rang. She stirred. You expecting something? I didn't answer. She padded to the door in my hoodie, opened it, and found a woman in a blazer holding a clipboard. Mrs. Ashley Delmont. Ashley blinked. Yes. You've been served. She took the envelope with both hands. Didn't even look up. The woman nodded once, turned, and left. I sipped my coffee and watched the moment fold in on itself. Ashley didn't open it right away. Just stared at the sealed edge like it had teeth. When she did, her face drained. Line by line, clause by clause, she realized how deep the roots had spread. Infidelity documented. Footage verified. Asset lists already split. House, accounts, investments, all pre-negotiated with a lawyer who didn't flinch at the word betrayal. Every file dated, time-stamped, notarized. The dashcam videos were submitted to my attorney the same day I handed her the envelope. Her car. Titled under a trust, mine. Phone plan. Mine. Streaming services, rent, utilities. All in my name. The walls were closing fast, and she had nowhere to pivot. Later that day, I scheduled a meeting with her HR department. Her boss, a tall, efficient woman with gray streaks in her hair, greeted me with a frown. This is unexpected. I slid a flash drive across the table. I think you'll want to review that. She plugged it into her laptop. Footage loaded. Ashley in company branded gear, texting Mick on work time, parked outside Goodwin Auto during logged hours. HR violations stacked like dominoes. Why are you doing this? Her boss asked. Because she did it first. I'm just more thorough. That same afternoon, Mick got a package too. Mailed directly to his shop. Inside, full-color prints. Of him and Ashley. Mid-act. License plate visible. Time-stamped. Accompanied by a typed note. Tell your wife before I do. 2 days later, Mick's wife messaged me. Just 5 words. Thank you for the truth. No follow-up. No explanation. She knew what she needed to know. Ashley came home that night shaking. She tried to act normal, pasta boiling, Spotify playing, dog fed, but her hands trembled. They're talking about suspending me, she whispered. I said nothing. She poured wine. Didn't drink it. They said someone sent videos. Still, I stayed silent. She crossed the room, tried to touch my hand. Did you do this? I looked at her. All I did was tell the truth. She sat down hard. Stared at the wall. Tears welled up again, but she didn't cry this time. I don't know who I am anymore, she said. That part almost got me. Almost. Because that was the closest she'd ever come to honesty. The next morning, Ashley didn't go to work. She sat on the edge of the bed, fully dressed, unmoving. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand, again and again, but she didn't reach for it. They suspended me, she finally said. I nodded. They said it's pending investigation. HR violations. Misuse of work time. Conduct unbecoming. More silence. You sent them the footage. I sipped my coffee. No. I gave it to my attorney. What he did with it is his business. She exhaled. Shaky. What do I do now? I looked her dead in the eye. You pack. She flinched. Wait, what? You're moving out. Lease is in my name. You have until Sunday. She opened her mouth like she might argue, but nothing came out. You've got somewhere to go, I added. Or did Mick's wife kick him out too? That landed. She looked down. Rubbed her palms together like they might erase what she'd done. I stood. Walked past her toward the door. Bruno's staying with me, I said over my shoulder. She didn't fight it. Couldn't. Even the dog had stopped greeting her at the door. Saturday, she packed. Quietly. No music, no muttering, no fake small talk. Just the sound of zippers and drawers and the occasional deep breath when something cracked. A photo. A pair of earrings. One of my t-shirts. She paused when she reached the kitchen counter. There, waiting, was another folder. Final statement of financial division. List of passwords revoked. Subscriptions cut off. Her name scrubbed clean from everything we shared. One line stood out in bold. All access terminated effective immediately. She signed. Didn't ask questions. I watched her put the pen down with the same hands she used to lie. At 3:42 p.m., her sister pulled up. Didn't get out. Didn't even make eye contact with me. Ashley walked out with 2 duffels and a laptop bag. She didn't say goodbye. She didn't even look back. The second the door shut, I changed the locks. Wi-Fi password. Alarm codes. Security settings. I removed her from everything, even the Spotify family plan. Small, sharp erasures. Later that evening, I got a message from Mick's wife again. She tried to reach out. I blocked her. Another from Danielle, the friend who avoided my eyes at brunch. I'm sorry. I should have told you. I didn't know it was that bad. I didn't reply to either. Forgiveness is a door I keep locked. By Monday, word had spread. Ashley was no longer the golden girl at her firm. Friends stopped liking her posts. One by one, the curated pieces of her life disconnected. I didn't have to post anything. I didn't have to scream. All I had to do was turn on the lights. The apartment's never been quieter. After she left, I boxed what she forgot, a scarf, a pair of earbuds, a half-used bottle of shampoo. I dropped it off at her sister's porch without knocking. She never texted to say thanks. I changed my number the next day. Bruno adjusted faster than I did. He stopped looking at the door when keys jingled. He stopped waiting by the window around 6, like he used to. Now he just curls at my feet, silent and still. I left the dashcam in the car. I don't drive it often. Not because of the memories, but because I don't need it anymore. I walk more. I sleep more. I eat slower. The world feels less scripted. I never check to see if she moved in with Mick. I don't care. That chapter closed the second the door did. My lawyer finalized everything. Divorce granted. Irreconcilable differences, clean and clinical. No contest. She didn't fight. She knew better. I didn't want alimony. Didn't want her money. Just separation. Just distance. I canceled our streaming accounts, our anniversary reservations, the ski trip we'd booked months earlier. I deleted the shared folder. Not because I forgave her. Because I won. There's a difference. Some people ask if I'd take her back if she begged. If she showed up crying, said she was sorry, said she'd changed. But she already cried. She already begged. And it changed nothing. Regret isn't redemption. And apologies don't unmake choices. She didn't trip and fall into another man. She scheduled it. Repeated it. Hid it. Enjoyed it. That kind of betrayal doesn't fade. It calcifies. Turns sharp. Heavy. I kept one still frame from the footage, just one. Not of her body or her face. Just her hand, flat against the fogged window. Pressed there like she was holding something back. I saved it not as a wound, but as a reminder. Even the best lies leave fingerprints. I've started seeing someone new. Slowly. Carefully. She doesn't ask why I watch people so closely. Why I notice silences more than words. Why I sometimes pause before answering simple questions. I think she sees it in my eyes, the distance. The scar tissue. She doesn't push. And I don't volunteer. Because part of me still walks barefoot through the broken glass she left behind. But at least now, I'm walking forward. One step at a time. Quiet. Free. Done.